your heart racing? Is that fire in your veins? Are your bones burning? Is your skin yearning? 'Cause you're driving me insane. I kinda feel like I saw the light. You got me way up 1,000 miles. Can we stay right here in this atmosphere like we're flying out in space? Don't look down this highway.
Righty, and hello everyone. We are getting started today with Lijiang Tower. Welcome to our very first of our actual season here. So we're starting here with round one. We are going against Sunny Sullivan. We're going to be starting server room. I believe it's called server room. Is that correct? Control room, server room, something like that. So, well, I know they call room back here white room, and got the server rooms back here. So I usually just go server. Control works though. Control works. I am Coach Havoc, commentating for you today. Co-commentating with me is alumni.
Hi, I go by commentating.
Just a smidge.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
Doesn't get closer. That helps.
That might help, yeah, a little bit. I can project my voice very well. I'm used to it.
They are gonna run Rhino. Starting in the beginning. Sorry, a Bastion combo. Bastion's gonna be rough for this Rhino to deal with. However, they also have a own. Really all gonna depend on how well they can battle out. They can control white room, and currently are on the offensive.
Correct. Actually, white room is definitely where you want to get started controlling here. You get control of that high ground, and it gives you access to this flank without really too much risk, because well, Shiro kind of going around for that flank. Already, we're seeing Iowa Central take control of that point as soon as it pops up and start taking the lead in that fight with 3 picks right out the gate.
No, Bat pops that immortality field and it goes down, and they just have really after that's destroyed, they can sort of lock in. The only thing they have right now is top that goal, but not enough.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing some percents on their ultimates here. We're seeing sorry, not Alari. The Kiriko on the other team here with the highest percent. So they could be popping a rush here, maybe towards the end of next fight if they can survive it here. But first, they got to get out of spawn. I think Iowa Central actually have quite a bit of ult charge here, though, and they've got a lot of potential combinations. We're going to see what this next fight brings, if we're going to see any ultimates pop out or not.
Definitely looking like Iowa Central be able to have these supports online. However, that rush is going to be us first. All depends on what they try to do. He already got them all grouped up here. It could very well be an easy hit, though. Cleanse is on the table. They're going to get 4 there. Not going to get the cleanse off.
Yeah, we're going to see a pretty big combo there from the Reinhardt and the Alari. Only 2 ultimates needed, and they're wiping out that fight. We are seeing a lot of ults on Sunny's side, so they could be stacking up these ultimates. As long as Iowa Central can keep up with playing very reserved on their ultimates and keep their tempo up, they should be able to deal with it.
Is going to go up against this rush currently. However, currently they have a wall of their own, so it really all depends. It does look like that Sunny is having a bit of a tough time getting out of the spot, though. Not sure how they're going to do the Rhine. They are going to get the Rhine, and the brush is going to pop.
All right, we're seeing that Daria ultimate pulling them in front of that window as well, but it does not look like it's enough, as Shiro pulling out his visor is going to be up their team. They're not going to be able to get much out of that push, unfortunately, for them. And with that 99% coming up and they're just coming out of spawn, there is no shot for them to grab that objective.
Central simply controlled the field too well, blocking them out into the
Score.
Yeah, and something we've seen a big struggle with from Iowa Central in our past games, not anything we haven't really got too much into it, but something I've noticed a lot from our team is we've struggled significantly to control our ultimate charge, to control our tempo, and to monitor the enemy's ultimate charge as well. And what we've seen here today is actually a massive impact. And I honestly think that's what's the big contributor here to Iowa Central pulling ahead and control so well.
Definitely. All of this, getting white room right off the bat also not help Rosaria's sort of grinds in your face and air charge.
Yeah, when your only options are to try and go straight to point and be on low ground, or to try and walk through a tiny choke, you're just not set up for a lot of good options. We're seeing Iowa Central shut down that teleporter from the enemy team here. They don't have that loose to go to speed. So Iowa Central is going to be on that point, taking control faster.
Unfortunately, King saw something. I had to go take a look. However, he will not be in.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Iowa Central to have their team go straight off the map. They're looking for that boot off the map, and he just unfortunately was not able to.
TP back.
Oh my goodness, and that was actually clutch play, holding back on the point there to get that TP in actually is going to clean that fight up as Reinhardt comes in and just immediately takes control and turns that around.
That Ryan on the out of nowhere, not expected. A difficult.
Yeah, and Reinhardt's ability to just command an area too. He like, and you're right, it was unexpected. I was even surprised when I'm looking at it in third person, and to see a Reinhardt just coming out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden he's got control. Yeah, that's gonna be unfortunate for them. That stagger is gonna put them behind. We're seeing 22% on Iowa Central side here, and if they just continue to retain that kind of a stagger, it's not looking good for Sunny here.
Really, Iowa Central has the lead. How they can try to take it back.
And we're seeing him try to come around the back end too, but Shiro has a pretty nasty angle on him there, and he's not really short on cover either.
Junks fan, they might be able to help against, and however, they are going to take the TV behind.
Oh my goodness, and a four-person shatter is going to hit them in the back. We're going to see Reinhardt sweep around with his hammer and clean that up. Zarya trying to make something happen, but really, without the team, you're not going to get that far, and we're going to see that fight clean up, and I was didn't even get anyone out of it.
Definitely, that was all from.
Yeah,
that was
no.
only an ult, and they had a team. Very good
yeah.
on the Tessie.
Yeah, we're going to have to see this Kiriko do God's work with Rush here, and maybe even a BAP window. If they're lucky, they might pull out a grab and do something nasty with that, but Iowa Central has some ults of their own and some combos that are actually pretty nasty to hit it.
Stay on the map this time, not heading off.
And here we see the window with the visor popping out. We've got Immortality Field up, but we are going to be taking out 2 picks after that Immortality goes down. DerpKing's going to push in on that and take advantage of that 3v5.
Here, otherwise.
And they're looking for the stagger, it looks like. Oh, and we're seeing Zarya actually make it over. But unfortunately, it's not going to matter. They're not going to be able to touch. She's going to shut that down.
That ball, I'm not sure if thought she could touch that. There was an echo right behind her.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, it honestly was not that close of a game. Iowa Central definitely proved that they have a very vast understanding of this map, and they've shown they've been working on their issues really well here today. We'll have to see if Sunny's a little more prepared on the next map, but I think we'll have to quick break here and swap over to. We'll be right back.
Take another smoke straight to the lungs. Yeah, I feel the pain, coughing out. You know I'm still young and burning out. I've been flaming like the sun, dying out. I've been thinking way too much about the times I used to creep out on the low. Yeah, in the middle of the night, I'm on the road. Yeah, all my demons keep on dancing on the road. Yeah, don't you worry, almost there. Burn a cigarette outside, catch a vibe. Yeah, and if I die, I die. Yeah. Nigga, I don't mind. Yeah, I smoke a blunt tonight. Yeah, I lost my sight. Did you know my type? Yeah, and if I die, I die. Yeah, nigga, I don't mind. Yeah, I smoke a blunt tonight. Yeah, I lost my sight. Yeah, you know my type. Yeah, yeah, you know my type. Yeah, you know my type. Yeah, yeah, you know my.
All right, and are live once again. Here we are going into our second round. Iowa Central Titans swapped over to the attacker side first here, so swap that. But are currently at 1 point for Iowa Central, and they are sitting at for Sunny. We did decide on Eichenwald as our map.
Ready for battle.
Got a bit of an issue here. Yeah, that was my fault.
Could have been oopsie daisy.
That was my fault. All right, now we're going back into it. Now that we sorted that out, sometimes we have these uh-oh moments. Life. Just have to accept it.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
All right, so now that we're back onto this, we've got Eichenwald, Iowa Central, swapping out Rolexity.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so we're going to see what their Eichenwald game plan is here today. Hybrid map obviously works a little bit different than Control, so got a whole new game mode, whole new strategy. We'll have to see if Sunny can pull forward here. They are sitting here on defense, so they can completely set the tone of this match. If used to so, let's see if Iowa Central can take control of the point and get that payload moving. We'll see how far they can.
Looks like we're gonna see a poke sort of comp on Sunny's side with versus a brawl on Icy. That Bastion Reaper, if they get in close, oh my goodness, that is gonna be a world of hurt.
Yeah, absolutely agree there. It is definitely on Iowa Central to get into this fight. It's going to be a lot harder going into this poke comp. We might even see them switch to rush just to get through the poke, but we'll have to see. We'll see what the game plan is here today. Got Reinhardt getting rocked right out the gate there. Iowa Central is not going to slow down, though. They're just going to run in, but we're going to see Zenyatta put that Discord on top of that Reinhardt. He's just going to melt immediately.
Discord is going to be rough for this Ryan to deal with if he stays on it. It's going to be terrible. Without Alari, Pylon just sticking, having covered the entire back half of that pillar, it is so nice.
Yes, that's
you
exactly
can't even
right.
get an angle unless you go all the way through around by stairs.
Yeah, and we're seeing.
Looks like I think this Ryan might be going for a swap.
This might be a full team comp swap after that first fight, especially. First fight is where you want to really actually, if you're gonna swap, that's when you do it, because don't, you're going to risk losing ult charge. You can do 30% ult charge if you swap after that first fight. So that's why it's really important you do the first fight, then you swap. It's not a big deal to lose that first fight. Second fight's where it matters, though. And we're seeing already Shiro on the Widowmaker getting a really good pick on the Mei there. That's going to shut down their wall off and give them the int that they need. We've got DerpKing here doing a little bit of a duel, and we're seeing Widowmaker get another pick on the Alari. That's 3-5 going into this now. And we've seen 2 picks off that Widowmaker, which is all... Okay, sorry. That interrupted, but that was so funny. That was a double rock.
That was a double rocks, double board. Sigma, same wavelength.
They have one brain cell between, and it looks like it's the rest of the team that's going to make up the difference here. Ooh, we are going to see a really fast Dragons come from the Hanzo there, getting Iowa Central off the point, but they do go ahead and cap that second tank once it clears out.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Dagger to the back.
Lost.
And we're seeing Widowmaker pop Visor as well, so they're looking to push up here. They don't not going to have any sneaky plays on defense. They Iowa Central 100% has control of where they are going to be. We got Shiro sneaking around the backside. They're going to get the pick on the Zenyatta there. Hanzo's trying to chase him down. We'll see if he can get him or not.
Unfortunately, Sunny tried to go for some picks, and they said, "You want to play? Let's play. We'll play the
Absolutely.
pick."
Yes, and we're seeing the May go down as well. We're seeing some really bad staggering going on from Sunny. It was kind of the same thing that happened last time where they kind of fell apart after they lost a fight. They just started getting staggered.
They do have two ults here, however. They Iowa Central but Trance and Flux, both big ults, big possibility.
Absolutely. And honestly, the big question here though is gonna be, is Iowa Central gonna be able to continue to manage their ultimate synergy as well as they have been?
They do have 4 ults coming online here, however.
We're seeing them get pushed back here as well. This could be panic ult territory, but we're seeing their tank go down first. Fortunately, that immortality was not able to keep him up. That's going to give Sunny ground over that point there. They take all the ground they want here up to. So,
Iowa Central backing out quickly, not giving them any more kills than they have to.
which is actually really good self-control on Iowa Central's part. Like I said, the issue that we've seen with Sunny is that they lose a little bit in the fight and then it's hard staggering. Iowa Central's not letting that happen to themselves. They are backing out exactly when they know is necessary.
Sigma is getting walled off here, however, supports are quickly falling behind. Into a Flux. Didn't pop the Trans, got popped by the Widow.
But we did see Widow get that pick, so that is one good thing out of it. However, May getting 2 picks here, pretty bad for Iowa Central. We've got a 3 right now, just to support and tank. Don't think that DerpKing is going to be having a good time getting out of here unless CogsofWar doing God's work to keep him alive. We see that window pop up though. This actually may give Iowa Central the time they need for the rest of the team to catch up.
This is the rock. That was an important rock and unfortunate.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Absolutely,
Get
and with the
staggered.
vision too from the Widowmaker, they're gonna see 100% what's going on here, and separating out the enemy tank there and getting him picked off is what Iowa Central needs to just get hold of this objective once again and get it pushing forward. You have a few ultimates
Dragons
coming
coming on
up.
the cart.
Oh yeah, and from the enemy team. Oh, and
Rolexity.
unfortunately, Rolexity jumps off of.
Chose honor over dragons.
That is unfortunate, but we are seeing Widowmaker put in a lot of work here. Maybe we'll get a few lucky picks here. Matter. But it looks like Sunny's opting to just pop a bunch of ultimates. Iowa Central kind of holding back and letting them fit because they can always play to retake now that they have advantage with ultimates. Got Rush Dragons coming up, and DerpKing also has Gravitic Flux online as well. So we could see some pretty big plays from Iowa Central, and the only person who maybe can get ultimate is the enemy May, but I don't think it's going to be another fight happens.
Definitely not. No. He plays up, which back in part. They do kind of need to make space for themselves. They are kind of just letting walk up. They've got high ground. That Widow.
Absolutely. Shiro has been putting in a lot of work on that Widowmaker. We're seeing Gravitic Flux pop this works up in the air. They do manage to pick one of them out. And it looks like they've also taken down Soldier 76. Iowa Central slowly taking control of this point here at slowly control of this fight. Swankypants does go down. They just gotta get down this tank, but they've got 2 more backups coming right up. But they are not. Soldier actually
Soldier's
going
on a
around.
mission.
He is on a mission. He is hunting down that Widowmaker. He said, "This is my job now." Widowmaker does not play the game.
Enemy territory. He is.
It looks like he may have even been going for jumping off the map there. He realized he messed up. We're seeing a couple of Iowa Central's players here stuck way in the back. They didn't take the opportunity to teleport on there. So they are going to be a while here to get back. Absolutely, but some of these newer players I don't think are 100% aware of it, and they got to watch for those calls when they're about to capture that point so they can go back and take the teleport.
That Immorfield is going to pop. Being that 6 up. Ever off the field and taking out the 4 in that ult. That is very big for that Sigma.
It's a really big flux on Sullivan.
Gotta clean up this Widow. They're finally focusing.
Yeah,
They can stagger her. That is
Shiro may have to be looking to swap out of here. Does manage to get out, but we're
There's a hop over the May and skedaddle out the door.
absolutely. It was actually a really good use of that grappling hook as well, but I'm not so sure how well this would. Third point, we're gonna have to see. Maybe he can pull something out, but they also have the Sombra on their team. Because we could see some pretty nasty Sombra play.
Back on this, IO Central up on 1 volts. Has 2 volts. They have a blizzard strike up.
Yeah, we could see a pretty nasty combo come from Sullivan here. We're gonna see if Iowa Central can make a play or not. We're seeing Dragons come out, but that May ultimate's gonna pop back. And they are gonna be trying to counter with that Alari ultimate. But we do see 2 picks from Iowa Central's end. Anyway, those 2 DPS actually is managing to stay out of that. He's managed to save the team there, and with that immortality field that was popped down there as a panic, was actually really good on CogsofWar, maintaining his life.
You have Luxnid coming up here. If they even need it.
Yeah, we could see that big play, and Sullivan does not have an answer to these ultimates yet. It looks like Zenyatta could be coming out with ultimate, but I don't know if it's going to be time here as we're seeing that Gravitic Flux come out. 3 going down. Hero does pop his ultimate as well just to be safe, but it does not look like it's needed. I was managed to push the entire way. Now they were in overtime, so we could possibly see Sullivan come back. All they have to do is capture and push the point with over a minute left, and then the best that Iowa Central are tied. This is what I mean by defense can set the pace of the entire match. Because if it gone the other way, if Iowa Central had been on defense, they could have done the same thing. Let's say they completely prevent them from capping, then all they have to do is cap 1 pick. The defense really very much so does set the pace of this match, and Iowa Central has definitely given Sullivan a tall order, and we'll have to see if they can overcome that or not.
Team's got to be thinking going into this, what should I do? Should I definitely think that Pop was working for Sunny, however, they were simply just getting out-poked. I was hopped on that Widow. Are going to be running 4 Bastions. Orb, I've heard he's good, but I just haven't seen much of him. Always seems like sort of a sleeper pick, especially if you were able to just hit those headshots.
Yeah, he did get that fire rate buff pretty recently that made him pretty good, and they made some adjustments to his turret as well. It did kind of make him good, but it wasn't enough to quite shift him into the meta, I don't think. Well, we did see some Overwatch League actually running it a bit, but it really was not as much as he.
There is an extra person on the field, simply more damage. Oh, really? No. What's the word? Really no effort. You just throw it down, forget about it.
Yeah.
It just goes to work.
Yeah, as long as you've got it in a good spot, you really don't have to worry too much. It just kind of does its thing.
I was trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. It looks like they've got a bit of a poke comp, which is actually good. It could help them with the Torb turret. But all Torb has to do is place it on some kind of a flank where when they walk past a choke somewhere, they start getting laid into that turret, and all of a sudden poke doesn't matter anymore. We are seeing Iowa Central just keeping them off of this bridge here. Rolexity putting in a lot of damage on that Bastion from up above, and it is just a struggle for Sullivan.
Defending the castle, not letting anybody pass this gate. That is
Exactly. It almost seems intentional, honestly. This map really is designed for Bastion. And in a lot of cases, Orisa as well for attack. Really feels like you should have Bastion defense and Orisa attack. It almost feels like the law, to be honest. Alright, we've seen Sullivan push up here, and it looks like we've got an ultimate on either side. We're going to have to see which side's going to keep the advantage. It looks like Iowa Central, both supports putting in work here. They're saying, nah, not anymore. We are the new DPS in town. And they are going to be taking out to Sullivan's side, making it impossible for them to push up. They just cannot do anything about that turret either.
That turret's certainly putting in work with Shiro already getting fastest.
I think
Anybody else is even close.
Well, I think they've only destroyed that turret maybe one time this entire game
He's got
as well.
ult, and the next highest
Yeah, we could possibly see Washington on Zenyatta, maybe pop his Transcendence and maybe get them past that choke, but that's going to be something crazy if they play for that.
The ult's popping out.
Ultimate's actually, you saw Grab come out and enhance with his Ari ult, and that is going to be enough to team wipe here for Iowa Central right into their choke. Now, they did use a couple of ultimates, and it's a bit of an investment to use when they're right outside spawn, but at the same time, they've just consistently held them there, and they've already got other ultimates up, so they might as well keep some kind of a tempo going, use those ultimates. Now all they really have to do is alternate, and theoretically, they should have an ultimate every fight, and it should work out.
That team wipe, that grab strike, it could turn the tide to do the exact same thing. However, they need to capitalize on these.
Yeah, we're seeing Molten Core and Window come out. It does not look like there was a ton of value, but there was a lot of area denial. And Iowa Central was able to push them right back into spawn there with just a couple of picks. Got 60 seconds on the clock here. Sullivan really needs to make some kind of a play happen. They only have 3 ultimates up on the board, which is actually crazy considering they've had one really prolonged fight and 2 other fights beside that.
Absolutely. However, Iowa Central only has artillery. Slight area denial.
Yeah, we could see.
Derp does bring his grab on.
All right, we're gonna see that Bastion ult come out now into their spawn, maybe try to shut down their push just a little bit. But Iowa Central pushing up gets hit by that grab. It does not matter, but we could see some play with this Alari ultimate. Alari up by herself is not going to be able to make much of a play off of it on her own. That is very unfortunate. 20 seconds on the clock. Iowa Central moving more and more into the spawn. Just gonna try and hold them off for that last 15 seconds as long as they don't
do a
touch
swap.
point.
They've got to touch point.
We've got grab from DerpKing here too. We could see a pretty big play here. We don't see Bastion get much out of his ultimate there. We do see DerpKing go down though, which just could be the play they're looking for. We see that Transcendence coming out. They managed to touch the point. Swankypants popping the Lari ult, trying to get some kind of a play out of it here, but Retro is going to be able to shut him down. Bubble off the Alari charge. Iowa Central, unfortunately, right at the end, gets a little bit too aggressive and gets outplayed with ultimates there. Unfortunately, they did not retreat in time. The full team needed to retreat on that. Once Retro got past the team there, they really needed to retreat.
I think got a little confident, and that Zarya showed never be.
Honestly, at that point too, because you're so close and you have grab, you might as well just pop it right before you die, just to deny them from even fucking up.
That grab definitely.
Yeah, very unfortunate that he did not pop it in time. Probably, honestly, was expecting to die. My guess is that he probably was very surprised by his own death, and was planning on popping it.
It's a Tracer. Here, maybe. Tracer not able to fit on that Bastion though. Still in the back line. Fortunately, not going to be able to make anything happen.
Yeah, we're seeing Iowa Central take this high ground and just completely dominate this area. Completely control that payload as soon as it comes out. They have no cover to actually push that payload. They could hug the wall on that castle, but they have to get to it first.
Absolutely, like you said, Bastion guarding this castle, keeping that one small point locked down, not letting anybody in.
Yeah, it really feels like, honestly, any point here is a Bastion defense point. First, second, or third. We have a minute left on the clock for Sullivan to get this payload pushed up to the second point here. We'll have to see. This is the longest stretch of the push part of it, and we're seeing that grab finally come into play. Iowa Central pushes them back out into the open, it looks like, and
Bob's coming out.
It looks like a bomb coming out from Sullivan's side, which is a very interesting choice when they're down 2. And it only really makes it into that room, and Rolexity putting in all that damage on it is got it down immediately.
Bob unable to do something unfortunate with that Bastion, he just gets shredded.
Yeah, and we're seeing Iowa Central's Bob come out as well, just kind of preventing them from walking up to this open choke here.
Metro's playing hide and seek with the Bob, trying not to get hit here, but
still taking quite a bit of damage.
All seen.
Got Retro waiting for that
out.
ultimate, does manage to pop it. We got Alari also coming out. Really big combo from Sullivan, but is it gonna matter? No, it does not, because we're seeing DerpKing learn how to use his Zarya bubbles and just manage to shut down all that damage.
Not sure if it was intentional. That bubbling super.
They have done it, yeah, and they have done it about 3 times now as well. And if you do pop one of them, it chains, which is an insane amount of damage.
Bubble that exploding one. It cleanses it.
at the end of the day here, we are going to see Iowa Central walk away with their second win for the day, and we will be moving on to our next map here, which, if I am recalling correctly, was Escort.
Definitely by no means funny, but they
No,
do need
they
to
played
work.
better. They
Absolutely,
played better.
that's sick.
Well, we will be right back as we discuss our next map. Stay tuned.
Just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control. Let the darkness take control. Darkness take control. May the darkness take control. Take me in smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the
Initiating launch.
Okay, and we are live once again. I did forget to swap our sides here on the overlay. I apologize as well. We did make a couple of swaps here, but we unfortunately did not have that those players up ready for the overlay. So apologies for that. For maybe watching those players, but we did put GloryCross in for ports. And we did put MiniMachine in for DPS. So this time around, we have Iowa Central on the defense and Sonny Sullivan on offense. So this time, Iowa Central has opted for taking control of the game and kind of just dictating the pace at which they're going to have to play. It's less important than it is on hybrid for sure, but it is definitely still pace settings set by defense.
1. Attackers incoming. Dynamite out. Stop the payload.
You cannot escape me.
All right, we're seeing a pretty good comp here. We've got a little bit of Brawl and a little bit of Poke. It's like a weird amalgamation for their defense here. Kind of going to let them push up this corner, and then it looks like all that damage pumping around that payload is going to be a struggle for them to get around. Ooh, we're seeing Retro get picks on MiniMachine and GloryCross right out the gate here. That's going to be unfortunate for Iowa Central. We're going to see that big ante come out on DerpKing. He tries to pin away their tank. Barely managed to hang in there as CogsofWar is doing his best to keep him alive. Manages to pull out and does not end up going down, it looks like. Shiro also managing to get out of that one alive. Because props to Iowa Central for actually being able to live that and not stagger very hard on that. We've got MiniMachine and GloryCross back with the team here. It's a little bit easier of a position to hold, I think. Still got some flank angles, but it's a lot more straightforward. Very easy to see.
Definitely. Dunk is taking that flank angle. Backline, fortunately, this comp is pretty rough for Ryan. Simply got to deal with so many things. Rock, Discord. She's not going to have a good time. And unfortunately, he's trying to make it work, though. Able to push back into this Ana. They have practically no heals at this point. No heals at all.
And we're seeing Iowa Central finally take control of the fight here. It looks like they push forward. We'll have to see if they decide to hold this or not. They probably could hold here, honestly. Just let that payload push back, but it looks like they're opting to play it a little safer. They don't want to risk the back cap very clearly, so they are going to hold back a bit. Sounds good. I do. I've been talking too much.
We're going to see window up here. Or it looks like sports are Actually, Retro, with those early picks, able to push himself out. Shatter is coming.
Yeah, we're seeing quite a big spread of ultimates on both sides. We're gonna have to see how this next fight plays out. This is really where ult tempo is gonna be determined. As long as Iowa Central can set up their ult tempo like they have been. Oh, but we're seeing Lance walking in. Yeah, that was a little bit risky though. Even if you are Reinhardt and you're god tier, that was a pretty crazy play there to just walk past the choke, go in on them. But it looks like it's paid off for them, and I don't think anyone's popped any ultimates.
Fortunately, it looks like Ana was back in spawn. Sleep Dart and the anti could have ended that Ryan
really quick, actually, and that's what we've been seeing happen. Actually, we could potentially the need for a Kiriko if those antis do coming into play.
They are playing around it with that immortality, if you're able to keep precious seconds. Anti is dispelled, but we've seen a lot of ults come up. When do you think they're going to?
Honestly, I think we're looking for a shatter. I
would
think
think
that's
the
what
same
DerpKing
thing.
is looking for immediately out the gate. And just like I called it, unfortunately, he did not manage to hit anyone with it. We are going to see Dragon and... Oh, wow, that was weirdly timed, but it looks like we've got one on either side. Oh, just a lot of trading, but ultimately it looks like Sullivan is going to take that fight.
I don't think it was MiniMachine dodging the dragon by post.
That was quite close, actually.
However, they did manage to clean up. I believe they used 3 ults there, but so it seems so did I.
Yeah, Iowa Central did dump a lot of resources into that fight, and unfortunately it did not pay off. Throwing Bob out just barely manages to contest that point. MiniMachine popping his tire, gets 2 picks, which is big, and they did manage to get Transcendence, which was definitely a waste at this point. And with no time left on the clock, that is going to be all Iowa Central has to do. Push to that, basically just up to that first point. It's a pretty clutch Bob, I think, from the Ash there, from Shiro, managing to contest that point there just a split second long enough for his team to catch up to it.
Bob and the Orisa both forcing themselves on that foot just in.
Yeah, it was definitely worth swapping, I think, off of that Reinhardt. I just don't think Reinhardt has a great time with what they were playing again.
Absolutely.
But we'll have to see what Iowa Central does here for their attack. This very well could be a game, as it is a best-of-5 series. Got Iowa Central in the lead with 2 points here.
Unfortunately, I definitely think that this could have happened with something, but that tire does not care about your transcendence.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, once that transcendence pops, it's still healing over time. It's just really fast. But the only person who's invincible is gonna be Yada himself, unless of course he gets environmental. Funny that you can still do that.
What do you expect him to do? You expect him to float back up from the?
I mean, maybe, but or he could just be CC on and still be off, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so. Yeah, that tire definitely was a good play going into that, though. I'm glad that they actually got a really good tire off that.
5, 4, 3,
To see kind of Sunny doing the exact same thing that we're doing, however, not going to be able to control that high ground as well with the Rhine.
Well, they do have we do have Torbjorn here on the defense, so Sunny with that Torbjorn up in the back here.
Going to make me eat my words as they run up on these things.
Ooh, yeah, Shiro actually getting that early pick is going to be big, and that's going to give their what he needs to get up on that turn. Shiro and GloryCross going to go ahead and push that point, since they can kind of play a little bit from range there. DerpKing gonna keep it going. Gets up into Retro. He does not get Fire Strike, unfortunately. He does absorb it, and Shiro goes down to that Torbjorn. That's gonna make this fight a little bit slower for Iowa Central. DerpKing does not care, though. He is still gonna go in despite the ante. Iowa Central manages to push up to this point, but now Hanzo's back here trying to get these squished down while the tank is not in the fight.
Orb just leading the charge there, saying, "You're the tank, I'm the."
Yeah, it looks like it was a little bit too ham on DerpKing there. Probably could have reined it back a little bit, at least till they got past that choke. But all in the name of trying to get space and take it and command it. A little bit greedy.
This turret up pretty faithful. Hanzo trying to get it.
Ooh, and we're seeing Reinhardt just go straight in on him and say, "Nah, nope, no turrets, go away."
Go away, be gone. They're gonna be switching onto this ramp. It's good against that Rhyme.
We've got this little bit of a DPS duel off to the side going here, fighting for that off angle. And we're seeing Shiro win that fight there. No off angle for the Hanzo. Iowa Central wins the rest of the fight up ahead as well. Scatter pop just because, and Iowa Central is going to be taking home the victory today, folks. So really appreciate you for watching. We had a great game here. Iowa Central really showing their improvements here. Sunny, I think we maybe have a little bit of work to do with your staggering, but at the end of the day, you did start kind of playing a lot better here. This last match, we saw some pretty good combos.
Retro seemed
Absolutely.
They did seem to be pushing hard, and I'm just unable to deal with that Rhine getting into it.
Yeah, and we do have to say too, we do have to admit they did, despite the issues pulling out of the fight when it was already over, we did see some pretty good ultimate combos. So Sonny Sullivan, not out of the fight yet. Come back next round a little bit better, and we'll be happy to hopefully see you guys come playoffs. But that's going to be all for us today, folks. So thank you for watching, and thank you for listening to my voice and the voice of Smo here. And we will hopefully see you guys on the next stream. Have a good night, everyone.